What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Following up last week's video, today we're going to do 5 things I love about the FRS. So we're just going to do 5 quick things that, in my experience owning this car, these are 5 things that I love about this car. So let's hop right into it. So number 1 is going to be that this car is manual transmission. A nice little M4 right there. I just love manual transmission. If you're a car guy, it's kind of like an unspoken rule that you got to learn how to drive manual. It's just a completely different experience than driving an automatic. You're so engaged with the car and you have so much more maneuverability over the car and the transmission with the H pattern shifter, you know, choosing your gear, engaging, disengaging the clutch, rev match, heel toe, all that good stuff. So just driving this car every day, having the manual transmission is honestly one of my favorite things about this car. And the manual transmission in these cars specifically is super easy to drive. So I learned how to drive manual on like an old truck when I was really young, but this was the first manual car that I owned and actually drove in traffic. So it's a really different experience other than just say if you had a friend and maybe you drove around the parking lot or whatever. Once you kind of own a manual car and you dive into driving it all over town and every day, it's a different experience. And this car, the manual transmission, is so easy to drive. The clutch on these cars are really light and the engagement point is at the very top. So if you're learning, this is a good car to learn on. It is really easy, really forgiving, but it can be kind of hard in the sense that the clutch is light, because if you have a heavier clutch, you can feel the clutch engaging a lot easier. I have the M-Tech spring, if I'm not mistaken. I did it a while ago, but it's essentially the spring that's on the clutch, which makes the feedback of the clutch stiffer or lighter. And so a lot of guys will upgrade that spring. That's what I did. It's just stiffer, so it has more resistance on the pushback, just to give it kind of a better feel, because like I said, it is really light from factory. But the manual transmission on this car is so much fun. And the other thing that ties in with the manual transmission of this car is that, as you know, this car is not the fastest car. And so it makes it so much fun because you can drive this car 100% and you're not doing like illegal speeds or whatever. So it's really fun for this car and the power that it has. So I definitely wouldn't get an automatic in this car. It'd probably be pretty boring, to be honest. I'm sure you could still, you know, use it on a daily or have some fun with it, but you got to get a manual. So number 2 on my list is going to be the fact that the aftermarket support for this car is just basically endless. I mean, you can do anything that you want to do with this car, whether you want to track build, drift, you know, time attack, stance, show, some of those combined, you know, whatever you want to do, the aftermarket support is there. If you want to do crazy swaps, if you want to do wide bodies, whatever you want. I mean, there's so much. This is ultimate tuner's driver's car. I mean, it's basically a blank canvas, and even in its blank canvas form, it's an awesome car. But the aftermarket support there is just so big, you can do whatever you want. It's getting ready to rain. I'm at the gym right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go inside and work out. When I come back out, I'll finish this video up, show you guys some of the aftermarket stuff I've done to the car. All right, guys, finished at the gym. Now I'm out here with the car. Like I was saying, talking about the aftermarket support for this car. And as you guys know, I've done quite a bit on my car with the wheels. I have like a little stancy track kind of build with my car right now. But that's gonna be my number 2 of what I love about this car. It's just the support from the aftermarket. So for number 3 of what I love about this car is the handling. Now, the handling that I have in my car currently versus the stock configuration of this car is going to be pretty different. I have upgraded wheels and tires and suspension, and the handling now is like a go-kart, which is what I love, because you can take turns really fast, you can navigate through traffic pretty safely with the low center of gravity from the coils, the stiffness. But even stock is really fun. I would say still would be on my list, because the stock tires are, if I'm not mistaken, Prius tires. They're less grippier tires, which they're intended to make ease of getting the rear end out a lot easier, which is fun. But definitely the coils help and make it a lot more fun. Like I said, with the last point in the aftermarket, you know, you can make this a time attack build, which is, these cars are monsters on track for drift and for grip. So the handling of this car is definitely one of my favorites, and that's going to be my number 3. All right, guys, next on the list for 5 things that I love, this is going to be number 4, is going to be that the FRS, the GT86, the BRZs, they are actually really practical cars. And in terms of like storage and just overall daily usability, livability, is really a practical car. So if you guys are looking into getting one of these cars, if you want to daily it and you need to have like a kind of practical car, again, if you don't have a family, or, you know, if it's just you or whatever, it's pretty practical. I can get my groceries back in there, my gym bags back in there, my work shoes are in there, and, you know, these seats come down, you get plenty of storage. If you got to do a road trip, you can get plenty of storage. And right now I got some junk back there. I got a shoe box. You know, I keep my rain jacket in here and stuff like that, but it's pretty practical, you know. It gets great gas mileage. I just filled up. I average about 23 miles per gallon, and you do have to get premium for this car, but it's really not that bad considering that it's decent mileage for a sports car. I remember my first car was a first gen Tacoma, and this gets better gas mileage than an inline 4-cylinder Toyota Tacoma. It was averaging about like 19-20 miles per gallon on the truck. And I do highway drive my car. It is manual, but I mean, still consider that's really good gas mileage. And like space inside here, I always say with my friends that this is kind of like a bigger Miata, which it really is. If you've ever been in a Miata, you know that they're just extremely painfully small. And I think that the livability in that car, I just couldn't do it because the trunk is so small. Here, you know, you can adjust your seat, you can move it pretty far back versus like a Miata where it's really almost set. If you've been in a Miata, you know what I'm talking about. But, you know, you've got cup holders in the doors, you've got 2 cup holders here, you've got the back seats that make it feel a little bit bigger, and you've got great headroom. I mean, I'm 6 foot and I have pretty good headroom here. And when I get a bucket seat, you know, I'll have even more headroom. So the practicality in terms of like space, daily usage, gas, even maintenance, like the maintenance, just basic maintenance. Like I said, I have about 77,000 miles on my car already, and I've just done basic maintenance. When I did my brakes, I went to change my brakes, and because I highway drive, you know, I don't use that stuff a lot. There's just not a lot of stop and go wear and tear on the car, so the brakes had a ton of life left in them, but I was upgrading them anyway. But I mean, a lot of people, you know, they talk bad about the Subaru motor and the reliability and stuff, and I've seen a lot of these cars go for quite a lot of miles. So really, if you ask me, any car that you keep up with your maintenance and take good care of it and treat the car right, you know, the car is going to take care of you for the most part, unless you get a horribly made car and it just is one of those that just craps out on you all the time. But honestly, I've had no problems with this car. I take care of it, and I don't drive it too crazy. You know, I take care of it. I do some spirited driving every now and then, but it's been great, very practical. All right, guys, last thing on the list that I love about this car is going to be that this is such an easy car to work on. This is my first car. Actually, that's a lie. My truck, I learned how to work on cars on my truck, but this is like my first sports car / build. And so that's like one of the things that I really love about this car is just how easy it is to work on. And obviously with the large aftermarket, that plays a part. But so far, you know, I've just done coils, I mean, exhaust. This was the first time I replaced an exhaust on a car, and it was really easy. You know, it's such a light car, such an easy car to work on, and such an easy car to modify. So that would be one of my things. You know, if you guys are looking into these cars and you want to get into cars, this is a great first option because you can learn so much and you can take it so far, as well as customize it, you know, to your own flavor. And there's so much information out there nowadays, you know, with YouTube and how to work on cars and stuff. And this is just such a great car to get into the community and learn how to work and really do your own thing. So that's one of the things I love about this car. I've done brakes, coils, exhaust, headlights, taillights, you know, little garnishes like this around The little smoke tails. I mean, I've taken the bumper, the front and rear bumper off this car countless times. Did the headliner with the stars. Just so much stuff. So that's gonna be the last thing on my list of 5 things that I love about this car. It's just how easy it is to work on this car. So that's gonna do it for this video. 5 things that I love about the FRS. If you guys enjoyed, leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe for more content like this. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.